sure you heard about it, how Antonio Brown posted some comments on Facebook Live where Mike Tomlin was addressing the Steelers after their win and, well, had some derogatory terms directed at the Patriots, but of course he thought that this was just going to stay within the circle of the Steelers locker room, but now it's out for all to see. What are your thoughts on this?
This is going to find its way into the locker room at Gillette Stadium. You know, look, I'll preface this by saying, and I think you guys would agree with me here, that we've all heard much worse in NFL locker rooms.
Yes.
We've all heard, off-the-record statements from players, from coaches, whatever the case may be, talking about opponents. However, it is another thing, too, as you bring up, post it to social media, or, knowingly or unknowingly, have it appear on social media. It's another thing to have it appear, in a public forum in the run-up to an AFC championship game. We're not talking about a preseason game here. We're not talking about, a game in September between two teams who really don't have any history. Patriots and the Steelers have a pretty good history here. Even dating back to last year when, the Patriots kind of scoffed at the idea that the Steelers were complaining about the headsets in a game at Gillette Stadium. There's been talk about, complaints about warm Gatorade. There is a long history here between these two franchises, and when you add this to the mix, it's just another layer that makes things that makes things dramatic. It reminds me a little bit of, there was a game in 2007 between the Patriots and the Steelers, and in the run-up to that game, a Pittsburgh defensive back, a rookie, and his name escapes me now, guaranteed that the Steelers would beat the Patriots. It's an innocuous comment at the time, especially coming from a rookie, but it finds its way onto the bulletin board in Foxborough, and it's not like you need more motivation to play better in an AFC championship game. If you can't get it jacked up for an AFC championship game, you're probably in the wrong line of business. But at the same time, it probably doesn't help things from a pregame perspective if you're Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Anthony Smith was the player for the Steelers, the rookie corner who did that. I'm just curious, if someone had done this wearing a Patriots uniform, what would his fate be, say, today?
The closest analogy, and I was thinking about this morning, the closest analogy to kind of wandering into these waters before a big game, you remember Wes Welker when he talked about Rex Ryan and made all kind of the beat jokes?
Mm-hmm.
And they sat him down for the first quarter. And so I think we would see something like that. I think if another player took a similar misstep in New England in the run-up to this game, posted something to social media he shouldn't have posted, said something he shouldn't have said, I think Belichick would deal with it internally in that fashion. So it's not like the Patriots have not engaged in something like this before. They haven't made it public. It hasn't appeared in a public forum. It hasn't. It doesn't have the same sort of, I don't want to say gravity, but it doesn't have the potential to rub the other side the wrong way in a fashion that like this might.